Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of February 12th through the 18th of 2024. All right, so this week we have quite a few sign changes. We have Mars entering Capricorn, going over transformative Pluto around Wednesday. The Sun will be entering progressive Aquarius around Thursday. And then over the weekend on Saturday, Venus will join Mars, passing over Pluto, going into Capricorn. So it's definitely this shift of energy going from more of the free-spirited side of Sagittarius and slowly more and more into that grounded side of Capricorn. So from fire to earth is definitely the shift this week. It's a week of really implementing a lot of the new perspectives, or quite literally new things that have come into our life since late last week. Last week we had the new moon on Friday. And so this week is the implementation of that, especially when we get to around the Friday of this week, as that'll be the first quarter moon, the more action-oriented manifestation phase of the lunar cycle. So along with this, of course, we have those transformative conjunctions with Pluto, but also Mercury will be squaring Uranus here around the weekend as well. So even with the Sun entering Aquarius, I think there is a lot of this visionary energy, this more progressive energy, and a good time to really be experimenting and getting outside of our comfort zone as well. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, February 12th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which changes the signs from mainstream astrology, since unfortunately mainstream does not use the visible sky. And so the signs are very different. If you are new to this channel, definitely check out the link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so a big week of shifts and changes. We have 3 fast-moving planets changing sign, starting with Mars, then the Sun, and then Venus. So there's a lot of shifts this week, and especially coming out of the new moon last week, it really is an implementation sort of week with some things likely, moving forward, and also starting to develop some new energy, new signs in our life. So a lot of it is coming from the fire energies of Sagittarius, where we've had a lot of energy these past weeks, and now Mars and Venus are the last ones here finishing up this week. So while it is particularly a good still first half of the week for being open-minded and a bit adventurous and a bit of a free spirit with Mars and Venus here, that more free-spirited Sagittarius is starting to wane. And we are starting to enter into more of the grounded energies of Capricorn, along with, again, some of that progressive energy of Aquarius. But coming into the week, it is definitely a mix between fire and earth, the free-spirited energy, and the more grounding energy, with more of the shift towards the grounding and long-term stuff that Capricorn's about as we go through the week here. So starting first with Monday, we're going to have the moon in Pisces. And the first 3 days of the week, really, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have the moon in Pisces. And this is usually a good time to be receptive, to get involved with the more yin side of life, which would mean to receive more from life, to be open to receiving more from life versus to go out and, get and, more of the yang doing side of things. Of course, it being the early phase of the cycle, it's good to slowly build momentum, as of course we're just starting to plant new seeds, and perhaps some of these seeds are starting to take root as we go through the week. But I would say the first few days, particularly up until about mid-Wednesday, it is good to be receptive in the process. Pisces is a good time of connecting with our soul, checking in, doing things that are in alignment with our soul, and sometimes taking a little bit of a step back and going with the currents of life a little bit more in order to align with our soul, and also to align to the things that we could say are greater than ourselves, like the spiritual process or the divine timing of things. It's also usually a good time for spirituality, imagination, creativity, anything else that's about connecting to the ethers there. So Monday doesn't have any major aspects, so it's likely to pull more on the Piscean side of things on Monday specifically. But I would say Tuesday as well, because along with the moon in Pisces, Venus will be sextiling Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. Very similar energy. And so there's an opening here on Tuesday for that receptivity. And I would say particularly in terms of what we can be enjoying in life, perhaps enjoying a little bit more of that with Venus, connecting to life more in that way, and also in our relationships as well. So a bit of receptivity there, going with the flow, unconditional acceptance, this kind of receptive energy. Also available, sextiles don't really push us to develop it, but it is available certainly if we want to utilize that on Tuesday. Then as we start to get to the later part of Tuesday and into Wednesday, Mars will be, as I said, changing sign, going into Capricorn. And of course, as we've talked about, and as I've written these articles about, Pluto is entering Capricorn in the process. So Pluto in Capricorn, very transformative time for the upcoming almost 2 decades in terms of transformations to our structures in life, both personally and collectively. Mars passing over this can be a nice iteration of that, a nice step of that in the right direction. And so any intentions midweek that would be about perhaps making some empowering changes in our life, to restructure some things in our life, but in a way that's motivating, in a way that's goal-oriented and starting to move that energy forward, I think is a great way of working with it. It's just good to be non-attached, of course, when dealing with Pluto energy, because Pluto is the death and rebirth. And so in order for change, in order for empowerment to happen, there needs to be a willingness to let go of the outworn. And this can be, of course, our own attachments, the things we want with Mars, our egos, our drives, our needs, which are important, but at the same time, Pluto has a way of, again, stripping the unhealthy attachments, unhealthy desires away. So it's really important to be non-attached, I think, especially when we're dealing with Mars and Pluto kind of energy. Mars is like the ego, Pluto's like the ego killer in a sense. Of course, it's all for the best so that we can be more of our healthy egos, but transforming it nonetheless and allowing for the old and outworn to be shed away for the new desires, new drives, goals, assertive side to emerge out of that. So it is inherently neutral. It's not a square, which would tend to be more challenging. It's more inherently neutral. But again, I think the intention to be non-attached and willing to face fears and make changes and empower ourselves is a great way of working with really this whole time period, really this whole week in general. As I said, with even just Pluto entering there for these many years. But this week it's definitely getting activated, and we could see in many ways what might be unfolding for the next many years here in February as these fast movers pass over Pluto, activating Pluto in the sense of what Pluto is gearing up to start to transform for us, again, personally and collectively for the next many years. So could be an important week in that sense of that energy moving forward. And again, with Capricorn, it's all about the new structures and seeing the long road and having that more patient and disciplined approach to things. In this case, when it comes to our drives and our motivations, when we're talking about Mars. So that's concentrated there around Tuesday, mostly Wednesday there as we finish up that moon in Pisces. And then as we do get to the later part of Wednesday, the moon will shift into more active Aries, activating again more of that fiery energy. This will take us through Thursday as well. So Aries is about cultivating that initiative, that Mars-like energy, moving it forward. It's likely to be, again, more grounded now that Mars will be closer to Capricorn this middle part of the week. But nonetheless, taking that initiative, I think, is fantastic. All right, and then also here in regards to Thursday, we have the sun starting to enter into Aquarius. And so here it is this progressive and visionary energy that's starting to come in for the upcoming weeks. Great to be forward thinking. I would say it's a great weekend for that in general because Mercury will be squaring up to Uranus. And so Uranus is that visionary, progressive energy anyways. So good to challenge ourselves to find the healthy and constructive way of doing that. The whole weekend is going to have a bit of that grounded Taurus energy. And so I think it's a great weekend for taking things slowly and steadily, one step at a time, stopping to smell the roses. As we're starting to build momentum in this lunar cycle, it's really a good week to challenge ourselves this week to take that initiative and action with things, again, to implement the new moon energy from last Friday. And over the weekend, Venus will be passing over Pluto, very similarly to what Mars would have done earlier in the week. And so this is transformative in the context of Venus. Our values are transforming, and perhaps some of our relationship energy is transforming as well. And again, becoming more grounded as we come to these coming weeks with more Capricorn energy. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Most importantly here is that is a shift from the fire to the earth energy. It's a great week of implementation, integration. There's some shift in some more progressive energy, which can be implemented constructively over the weekend. And yeah, just a great week for integrating and implementing the new energies from later last week. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, there's a newsletter link down below to sign up for that. But again, have a great week, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.